So technology. Do you have different feelings about that? Some have a positive perspective, looking back in history, and some people have a negative view of it. They feel that, you know, what they remember from technology, what it's done with us. Some people have a warm feeling, because with family too, with technology. It doesn't mean that technology is the top agenda, but the appreciation and the value, and we cherish technology, and just want to cherish and talk about some of the past history that I've experienced. With my brother, we had 6 computers in his bedroom, 6 broken computers, and he just really kept thinking he was going to be an astronaut. And my mother would say, oh, someone just called, and she'd say, oh, what's going on with the computer? And he'd be able to resolve that. And with email, then he used the computer even less and less. And then like with my husband, looking at movies and stuff, and then we had our son, we just videotaped him, and we could look back and see the history of our child growing and him having autism. I was able to research and contact other parents that had the same issues that I had. We were able to connect, establish friendships, and become addicted to phone. I mean, technology itself is very important to me. And I just envision with technology, maybe my perspective is different than yours. Maybe if I was to say phone, you would envision, you know, analog phone. And maybe someone else would think digital. Someone else would be picturing wireless. Everyone has a different picture when I say that word. Someone's thinking typing. If I say that you're doing key punch or data entry or typing, someone else is saying, I don't need that. It's all in captioning or what have you. I mean, different perspectives everyone has. I could say I use a Z, and some say I have a D-Link. I don't know if you have an old computer, but everyone has their own view, their own perspective on technology. But it's very important. And what does it really mean? That word. It's the application of practicing science between business and industry. And so another human innovation and action that involves generation of knowledge or processes, which applies to problem solving or helping the human person, helping their capabilities. It's just a very long, extensive definition, but basically that they help us to do our task and satisfy our needs. They meet our needs. And there could be so many different definitions. Driving a car, cell phone, laptop, video phone, the refrigerator even, microwave, everything. Technology is just there. There's so many things that entail that. It's really a part of our lives daily. So as you think of technology for yourself, what do you think? It really has changed your lives. It's changed it because of the speed, high-speed internet, mobility, everything. It's changed our communication capabilities, how we connect. It's really changed how we learn, how we think. I mean, just imagine if you were to think of technology in the future. What you want to share with each other, the importance of where we want to go, what we're thinking. If we decide, let's say, push technology to the side, our socialization being more important, we would see that we would fall farther and farther behind if we did not have to. We really are changing our thinking. Some people are afraid of technology, but in China, the proverb says, change with us. If change happens, we must follow along and change also. It's a powerful thing. You're thinking, it just in a broad perspective, talk about just learning and education with technology. You think of the tools that help us learn. You see all of this here. There's so many links, so many things that are happening these days with technology. We're overwhelmed. We learn this, we learn how to do that with technology. What does this mean? What does that mean? How do we mainstream? How do we get that into our everyday lives? It's impossible. They're just so broad. It's so overwhelming. But I'm here to tell you and share, where is our focus? Where do we want to go? What do we want to share? Just want you to think what impact you have, and you can make a difference. You can impact the future of education and technology. So, as change is coming, how do we select, how do we decide what we want to go with from the past and the future, and just how to connect them? In 1986, with Guy Vitt, they had... Okay. So what they did was establish this program, and this is what computers looked like back in that time. The AIM, automatic instant messaging, what have you, and this is what we have with our friends, and we would discuss who's been looking, and we would talk about different issues, and then we'd print, and the teacher would, and then we would give our little essays, and they would correct our grammar, and then with technology, we turned around and made that adapt and fit into what our learning was happening. And now my son has autism, and the teacher is seeing, okay, what all does that entail? Adapt the curriculum to fit his learning. He needed words in larger font. He needed a timer to help him follow along. And he knew when it was time to stop. The teacher was able to adapt the curriculum and the equipment for his needs. And my son, he was overwhelmed, but she adapted it to where he could see one word at a time, made it easier for him to be able to read and not be so overwhelmed with so many text stimulating his visual. So everything is adapted to the person and individual. You adapt the curriculum that's already built in there, not just for a broad curriculum for all kids, but individually. And it's universal design. And universal design for learning, what that means is there's three things involved: flexibility of design. And design is for a student to be able to absorb and learn in various ways. Someone might be more a visual learner, someone might be more auditorial learner, but the design is in the curriculum already to adapt to meet that child's needs. And if someone is blind or visually blind or low vision, they would not be able to see a certain color. Someone being able to express themselves might not be able to do it verbally, can do it more in color or in drawing or writing. But anyway, and then someone might want to be filmed, to express themselves privately. And then you see that they show that they understand and comprehend the information that they've been given, but their way of expressing themselves and their knowledge is in that curriculum. Some struggle with maybe they're not interested in a particular thing, or that doesn't really fit my needs. They're able to adapt that curriculum to that child and their skills and their ability of learning to show that it's more supportive. Some need more support, some don't. But really, those three, it combined, make a universal design with that child's learning. Thinking Reader, CAST, Central, for Applied Central Learning, and with Gaudet, the Horizons. And what they've done is come up with a curriculum and a textbook which designs various ways that you can adapt your curriculum, even in sign language. Will the children benefit from that? I mean, but various supports are here, but this just gives you an example of a text. They would read the text, and if they didn't understand what a vocabulary word means, they'd be able to click on it and give a definition, give a picture, give maybe a chart or diagram, what have you, and help them understand what that vocabulary means. And so a student would be able to read it, and then also as a sign. Some might want to just read only, some might want to read and sign, but it's designed to fit the needs of that learner. And they have the definition of the different vocabulary. They're able to click and it will link and show the definition in sign language. My notes, my glossary. You're able to build your own to see what I have learned from the past and your improvement and your progression, and to see the errors that you've made. So it's self-empowered for them to self-learn. But it's kind of the same concept, but you see even more terms and more vocabulary that they might be struggling with in their reading and comprehension, even more in-depth definition. And they're able to stop and think. Often they read and don't think and process what they just read about what happened, or maybe even be able to predict what could happen in the future. So this gives them more analytic information and be able to improve those skills. So this is a very good book too. And with the vocabulary, they'll have other similarities of how that could be used in context plus the picture image. And this has been very successful, very wonderful. But we're continuing on this. But the one thing that's been an issue is funding. I don't really want to go on about that because funding is always an issue. Timing, funding, training, everything is an issue. I don't want to talk about that, but I just want you to think. I just want to give you that food for thought to think about how we can build our curriculum and how we can see more adaptability and more changes to help with our education, and see the struggles with students and what their learning is, and see how we can develop it and adapt the curriculum to fit their needs and be more diverse with the curriculums to fit with them and meet any needs that a child might have. And like I said, the universal design, we have over 30 different groups of people that are supporting in Congress that are also supporting this from elementary, kindergarten, on up. And so it's been accredited. And so with someone from CP to blind to learning disability, Down syndrome, all different disabilities have a voice in this. So it's something to think about because no one's been speaking for this group, but we need to build this strong group and support the needs for ourselves and those students and their needs. We cannot forget about technology because we would be depriving these children and these students, your own children, your grandchildren, your niece, your nephew, your friends, your neighbors, but everyone and their opportunity to build and progress in the future. We would not be able to become a valuable citizen in our society without that in technology. And we don't want to see that happen. We want to make sure that we all are involved and support this movement. And just recently, like I said, with Higher Education Opportunity Act that was passed in 2008, the definition of universal design was for higher ed, but it will also trickle down to elementary and pre-K and all. And so why I'm here is to just give you that food for thought for you leave to say, okay, universal design, that's a good idea, that's a good thought, but you can make an impact. You can, if we all get together and progress with this movement and make a sound argument about it. It doesn't matter if you're deaf or hearing or what have you, but we need to fit all children's needs with teachers. Talk with your teachers, talk with your families, talk with neighbors, talk with the schools, get involved with that and see what their perspective, what their philosophy is. And the thing is we can all work for this mission for our future. And as I leave here today, the quote from the movie, where you decide what you want and the choices that you make are for yourself to decide. Thank you.